but it's really like I think that it comes to how human, right, learn in our life.
No, no. Be careful with that.
Okay.
So that's a big topic you want
That's
to
a big
take up.
topic.
Yeah, you want to separate right now human intelligence from artificial intelligence and forget about human intelligence.
Okay.
When you're working, human intelligence is good to build the tool, but the tool is not human intelligence.
Makes
you
sense.
have one example is the chess algorithms. Today, there's not a single chess champion that can beat a chess algorithm.
Right.
And there's no artificial intelligence in it. Practically none, maybe 2 lines of it. So even the best player in the world cannot play 10 games against the best chess program and beat it, because it has brute force calculations.
Wow.
It can calculate millions and millions and millions and millions of things, and it evaluates better than us. One of the things is the evaluation function.
That's true.
When you play chess, a person that plays chess is very intuitive. A machine will look at maybe 50 parameters. We can't do that. It's impossible. So there's machine intelligence and there's human intelligence, and we shouldn't mix them, because as human, it looks a bit like us, but it's not like us, because you have all forms of intelligence: bird intelligence, monkey intelligence, plant intelligence, and human intelligence is just one of these. And we are limited in calculations. We have very limited intelligence, in fact, and we use emotions to compensate. So if you're talking, let's say you're talking to someone for 10 minutes and you say, oh, yeah, I don't agree. This president is bad or this president is good. But I said, yeah, but the president did good things and bad things. No, that's it. So we just take a shortcut, but a machine won't. It'll continue for hours. So it's close, but it's not the same. It's a machine.
Yes. Can machine in the future will have emotion? That will be the question. It's like a AI science fiction movie will kind of explore on that.
This is typical anthropomorphic projections. Like when I was a child, I would look at puppet shows. And when you look at the puppet shows, you really believe, that's a person. But that's not a person. And if you can look at a cartoon and you say, no, that's not a person. And when we watch movies, we really think the actor is doing something, but in fact, he's just acting.
Yeah, that's true.
So I would say that a computer will have consciousness and emotions the day you wake up and you take your pocket calculator out and it says hello to you and it asks you how you slept and all that. I mean, it makes no sense. It makes no sense. It's a different species. I mean, when will a dog have emotions like us? Maybe if I train a dog 100 years, it'll be like me, or a monkey. So it makes no sense. These are machines. These are tools. And trying to do something else is not a good thing, because it's an illusion. And I'll say, the day that a machine can have consciousness is the day you can tell me why you were born, what you're doing on Earth, what is your purpose on Earth, and where you're going after. So once you have that consciousness, maybe you can do something. But now there's one exception that I accept, is for, like, in Japan, little robots that take care of elderly people. But in Japan, they're not androids. They just have wheels and they're a bit funny. As long as you have these little robots and they don't look too human and they're nice and help people. So maybe to help disabled people or things like that when it's helpful. But otherwise, we will be able to mimic, but it'll never be real.
Right. Interesting. Very interesting. Let me ask some other interesting question. If you look at today's trend, right, like machines start to do more intelligent work. For example, before they may just like perform the task, maybe out of the many data, find out the patterns for us. Now, like those fancy, open AI, lab have published some algorithms, which is machine can create art, machine can write articles, machine can compose the music. Right. So what's your opinion on this kind of the trend? They start to perform more intelligent tasks.
So let's take each one. Let's take music. Okay. I paid a lot of my university studies playing jazz and jazz clubs, okay? And I went to a music conservatory, a very classical one.
Got
I
it.
played the organ. Now, if you're composing music, you can talk to any player. When I played in a club, I would look at the people. There would be an interaction, and I would change what I'm playing by looking at the people, because now we're relating to each other with emotion. And if you look at live concerts of Rolling Stones or any artist, you will see that depending on who they're singing for, they have different attitudes.
True.
So you can always mimic music, but it's not a creation. A creation is something that goes on with your emotions, your body, your sense. You can mimic. In fact, you can mimic anything you want. You know, it's like when someone goes in a room and imitates someone else, right? He's imitating the other person, but he's not the other person. So this is an imitation. It looks nice. And maybe people that don't know much about art will like it. And sometimes I've listened to machine-produced music. It looks nice, but it's not creative. You can try to mimic creative by doing random music keys, but it'll never relate to a public. And you can see now that in this COVID period, all these artists, they're suffering because they don't have a public. They say, when am I going to begin to go back sing on stage? And that what they want is the interaction with the people. That's what humans are made for. So you can mimic things, but it's like saying two machines are going to fall in love with each other. Okay, why not? You know, it's ridiculous. Now, if you take painting, I've done a lot of neural transfer, and you can do the same thing. You can mimic, but what you want, but it's still not an interaction. It means nothing. It was not an interaction. It's not the footprint of a human emotion. So it's just you're mimicking something.
Totally. They're lacking of this subject, right? The subject was just the artist, and the audience was another subject, which is have the synergy
or the
going
imaginary
on.
Listener. You can always mimic, you can always do random things, but that's not the point. So it's like, let's say you're doing an interview with me, but I'm not here. So you're just talking to your wall. Well, you can talk to your wall, and then you get an answer, but it means nothing because there's nothing behind it. It's empty. It's an empty shell. It's just fake.
Right. I recently found a very interesting project, which is they have this Einstein face, which is conversational AI, right? And then they put on the exacted places, and you can ask this fake Einstein, which is have some certain questions. So how do you see this kind of a bring back the
But they're not bringing back anything. It's interesting. It's something interesting to do. In fact, I did it in chapter 3 of my book here on Transformers. In chapter 3, I did that with Kant, Immanuel Kant, the German philosopher, but just for the fun of it. Because if Kant were here alive today, he would never speak like in his books. He would have things to say about what's going on now, and you can't project what he would think because these minds surpass us. So he would be taking more parameters into account. So it's fun. It's like a cartoon, but it's not a person. So you can go on like that. You can mimic anything, but we're talking about mimicking. We're not talking about a real conversation.